It is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's supposed to stay cool today. The next week, it is supposed to be smoldering hot again. But today's goal is to get all the bracing and strapping tore off. It is teardown day so that we can install a subfloor, floor joist, etc. the next time we're here. Let's get this going. We got all the strapping off around the door. That's complete other than the very bottom. You guys remember when we built that buck, I said I will take the Sawzall, run the Sawzall blade, let me get it out of the sun there, and cut the screws off that are attached through the outside of that board, and then that plate will pop out. Got all the strapping off on the top side, got the stiff backs off on the outside. And you guys might ask, well, are you going to tear it the rest of the way down? And the answer is no. I have to install the exact same system that you saw me install here, and we'll go through that again, and you guys will see us install it up there on those octagon plates, just like you saw on the stem walls. The biggest difference is now we're 12 foot up in the air, so I'm going to leave the braces up and my walk boards up so that we can use the walk boards to mount all those 2x12s and ensure that all of that is in place and fastened off, because it will be above the top of the brace. Once that system is installed, the joist and the subfloor, I'll then come down here and take the braces off, and honestly, then I'll be working in the shade, so it won't be too bad. While all of that is going on, we also have to start framing up the stairwell that'll be right over in here, so that we don't close ourselves off and only have exterior access. And this wall for the steps supports one of those joists. Not that we need it, it's not a requirement, but it will make getting materials up to the top a little easier. I won't have to use the man lift for everything. So we'll install the majority of the floor system, and then we'll probably start framing up the walls for the steps, and then start framing the steps, and then finish the floor system. But what we're going to do now is we've got some straps on the outside. We've got to get those off of there, and then we formed up the retaining wall, and we had enough concrete left over from the 12-foot wall pour that it filled the retaining wall completely up. You guys have asked, well, if you're going to backfill 20 inches over top of that, how it's just going to go over the hill. Well, this was the thought process the whole time. Use our extra concrete from both pours. Honestly, I thought I would have to have 2 pours to fill it up, but the 1 pour filled it up perfectly. We may, on the next pour, form something else up to put a crutch leg or something on it so that wall supports everything. There's rebar in there, it's attached to the castle. I'm honestly not worried about it, but I'm gonna have to go somewhere with the extra concrete, so we'll figure something out for that. But right now we're gonna get these straps off here, get this board off in the corner, take all of that form boards off, get that taken down and staged back in the raw material stacks, and then get that board off. But as you guys can see, that sucker poured out really well. That wall is, I'm here to tell you, that sucker is straight. I put a level on it. It is a 1/16 out of plumb in just a couple of spots, and I'm not worried about 1/16. And if you look down this wall, that sucker is really nice and straight as well all the way up. So we'll get the rest of these boards off here, and then maybe before the end of the day, we'll get our band boards around our top 2x12s fastened off with the J brackets. Maybe. Let's cross our fingers on that one. Well, there you have it. Tear down day is complete. The retaining wall poured out really nice. We got all the boards, straps, crutches, whatever you want to call all the boards you put on these things, completely off. We got our foam strip there on our common. We got everything off in here on the inside. You see, we got the 2x6s, we got the boards off the walls. You just saw me take those two boards off of that wall there that was attached to the masonry of the castle. Again, I'm leaving the braces up to use this as our scaffolding slash walkboard so that we can install the band boards all the way around, skirt boards all the way around, and then start throwing floor joists in here. Hopefully next week when we come back, I'm hoping to have a couple of guys with me next weekend so that we can hopefully knock out the floor system all in one day. Not for sure if that's 100% going to happen. But as I was taking straps off, you guys can see I've got one block that lifted there about 1/4 of an inch, and I have one block, one corner over there lifted just a little bit. And I struggled getting those down. I'm beginning to wonder if I didn't have something in the lock mechanism, and I just didn't pay attention because I got in a hurry on that last course. Let's go, baby, go. So I'll have to trim that just a little bit. This one here, I'll have to trim that just a little bit, and I'll have to trim that one just a little bit, but not a big deal. It's not a showstopper. The next course will stack out just fine on those. I'm sure that's my fault, not the block's fault, simply because I didn't pay enough attention to that area when I put them down. But I'm trying to decide if we're going to try to get the skirt boards on here. It's getting late in the day. It's really hot. We've been working our butts off to get this thing strapped. Unstrapped, should I say. Probably, honestly, took us 4 hours. If I didn't have to go help Dustin with something, which took me about an hour, and we stopped and ate lunch. So we probably worked solid for 4 hours to get all the strapping off of this, which is not that big of a deal. A lot of people have been saying, man, it seems like a lot of work. Well, here's what I like to point out. It is a lot of work, but the structure, the support, the framing, and the insulation, it's all done. 100% done. The only thing I have left for the actual structure is finish work. And the framing's there. Each one of these studs is what you fasten your finish work to. So yeah, it may take a little bit longer initially, but if I stick frame this, I would then come back and I put plywood on it. Once I got the plywood on it, I could continue stick framing it the rest of the way up, get subfloor in, etc., etc. But then I still got to insulate it, and then I still have to finish it. Framing, support, structure, insulation, it's done, all in one whack. And yeah, I put out several videos, but you guys got to remember, I work on this thing typically 1 day a week. And what was it, 4 or 5 videos to get this completely stacked out, and then the 6th video is going to be the pour. I mean, that's 6 days with essentially one person. So in my eyes, the ICF is the way to go. It's just greatly beneficial, and you guys can go do a lot of research on ICF. I like Superform block. It worked exceptionally well. The 1 foot increments was different for me. The 4 foot increments was different for me, but everything went well. Mom and Dad showed up. They're out there organizing and getting things placed where they need to go, because I do a horrible job of that. But that's today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and as always, like, comment, subscribe.